So NFL MVP drafts. We're gonna go around. We have our draft order. What is our draft order?
The draft order. Oh, where is it? It disappeared.
I just know I was first.
Yeah, it was Brian, Will, me, Josh. MVPs. All right, here we go.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in that order. It's gonna be a snake draft, and we'll base it off. I think we're using FanDuel odds, and let's just say we'll base it off $100. So if you get the guy that wins the MVP and he's plus 1,400, you're plus 1,400, and we're gonna do this for all the awards. We're all gonna throw in, what do we agree? $50. We're gonna make this competitive.
$50 is fun.
We'll do this for all the awards. Whoever has the most points, whoever's won the most, wins the pool. So we'll make a little pool out of it. You guys can chime in on the chat, and we'll start here. We'll kind of talk to our picks. We'll go through it, and yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say my only question was: so, do we decide how many we're gonna take for each award? Like how much?
I feel like we can go until we can just say, you know what, we're
Yeah, we'll start knowing when we're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we're like, oh man, I just took CJ Stroud at 150.
Then 5 picks is going to be tough, just so y'all know.
Yeah, so I was going to say 3 or 4 rounds probably makes most sense. But what I was going to say was just to clarify.
Trying to fill content here, Brian. I don't know if you. I mean, it's the summer. We have home run
I know. I'm trying to clarify for the people watching as well.
Yeah.
And so my other question: so to make sure that it's all known, our goal is really to get one winner, obviously, and so your first round is probably most likely, and then like that's where you start longer shots coming in. So you don't get penalized for losing, say for like one of your picks, but you just want to try to hit on one of them.
I think I think the goal, the way I'm looking at it, you're trying to find the best value each pick.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think this is just, hey, what's
the
best bet on the board?
It's clear to the people watching that we're not necessarily, because my first round pick is not going to be like a favorite guy, but it's going to be So
no, because if it was just, hey, let's pick the guy most likely to win MVP, then it would be such an advantage to go first, and it'd be boring. We'd all just be going in order of the odds. I think just, hey, this is the best value. So with that, before we start, I will say, just in terms of a real betting standpoint, there's not a lot that jumps out to me that, hey, I really want to bet this.
Exactly.
I think
took Patrick Mahomes as a bet.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mahomes won it his second year. Remember, he never played before. He only played one game, and he won the MVP at 80-1. Lamar did the same thing the next year at like 75, 80-1. In the books, they're just not going to get crushed on 75, 80-1 every year. So they said, screw it. We're just going to slash the prices on the quarterbacks, and we're not going to get beat for 80-1 again. So I do think there's a little bit of a hard time finding value. But let's start. Brian, you're up first. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, this is going to come as a homer pick, but my first pick in the first round was going to be Jalen Hurts. Solely because it's one of those things. It's 12-1 on FanDuel if we're using those odds, and we talk about you're not going to get burned on 7-1 on Allen, Burrow, or Mahomes. I think at 12-1, I mean he was kind of the favorite for most of the year. He hurt his shoulder. I think this year coming around for the Eagles, their schedule gets a little bit harder, which means their record might be a little bit worse. But I also think it helps his stats a lot because there were so many games last year where the Eagles were up, 44-20, hand it off, don't let them get hit, don't let them throw the ball too much. So I think his stats could increase, and the big thing too is the tush push, the QB sneak the Eagles ran. They almost try to make it illegal. It's still legal, so I think the touchdowns for the rushing side will be there. And I kind of mentioned earlier that I think Swift's addition to this team will help, like the check down thing and the check down and the gadget plays to help him with the passing yards. So I think at 12-1, it's a good.
Do you worry a little bit the rugby play is more risk for injury if you're always doing that? You got people shoving them from behind, people just whacking them constantly. I mean, he's a strong guy.
I guess the other thing too is when you're factoring in best value, I like the idea of getting a guy at 12-1 over. I mean, it's not like Burrow's not taking hits at 7-1 or Josh Allen at 7-1 taking hits. I think it's just like you said. That's why I wanted to clarify for people watching in terms of the method behind picking. It's not just picking necessarily the favorite, but I think the value is there.
And I was really looking forward to having the 4th pick and possibly getting Jalen Hurts with it at 12-1.
Yeah,
and then you made him the first pick, and that I mean, it's a good play because the number, I think, right, like in terms of that.
And he's not going to be there at 9, so
right. No, that's for sure. But I'm with it, and yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about it and just to basically say everything that you just said, which was like a really good team that lost in the Super Bowl by not a lot, just got better, so and retained everybody they needed to. So I mean, it makes perfect sense.
It's funny you say that because I was really hoping to get the 3rd or 4th pick because I knew he'd be around, but I still was going to pick him first at 12-1 no matter where I got. So it just happened to be first.
Yeah.
Frog DFS is drinking early today. He says good pick. So okay, sure.
If I had first overall, I was drafting Patrick Mahomes. Like I wasn't going to think twice about it.
All right. Well, it is my pick, and Brad made the mistake of tipping his hand, so I will pick Patrick.
Well,
Mahomes
I knew you were going Patrick Mahomes.
I was. I really wasn't. I really wasn't.
Shut up. You were. You know you were. Really?
I was undecided. Yeah. So I got Mahomes.
Wow.
So more interesting than talking about why you should take Patrick Mahomes, because we've done that for the last 4 years. Why wouldn't he win this award? Like, are you worried at all about the
voter
the
fatigue? We saw what happened with Jokic. The voter fatigue sets in. Other than that, look, he's the best player. There's similarities to Jokic. There's similarities to like LeBron, where he could win it every year. But unlike LeBron, he's gonna play every game. Barring an injury. It's going to be a quarterback on a double-digit win team. I mean, the Chiefs, I know it's a tough schedule, but they're probably going to win 11 or 12 games. He's probably going to put up video game stats, and you just put this one in your pocket, and he's going to be one of these guys that's in the mix. So Mahomes at 7-1 is in the bank for me, and it's not sexy, but again, a lot of these just aren't sexy. You go down the line, all these guys. I mean, there's 3 guys, and we're looking at FanDuel's odds. 3 guys are 7-1. 1 guy's 9-1. Hurts 12-1. Lamar's 15-1. I mean, there's just not that many guys where you're getting monster payouts. So I'd love to do something sexy off the board and just, some real value pick. But you know what? 7-1 is you're probably going to look at this November, December. He's probably not going to be 7-1. He's probably going to be 3-1, 4-1, 2-1, something like that. So Mahomes 7-1 is off the board. And up next is
I have a question about Mahomes, which is like, do we think that there is anything to like this year's group of receivers and weapons around him is probably worse than the last couple, even than last year?
I think it's better. I think it's not worse. I think he has an opportunity to build different relationships. Like last year, where you're saying Juju, he lost Juju, but he has Sky Moore a second year. He has Kadarius Toney for a second year. He has Justin Ross for a second year, even though they didn't actually play games together. I think they have a more chance for continuity. Like I'm not rating Juju. Like Juju was okay for them,
Yeah,
I think you put high school receivers on there, and he's going to tear it up. He is
that's
just
my
ridiculous.
That's kind of my question. Do we even care who it is? Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I don't care.
Fair.
All right.
And especially as long as Kelsey's there. But yeah.
I'm actually bypassing the top 2 favorites, the last top 2 favorites. I'm going with Trevor Lawrence at 16-1. Trevor Lawrence is playing in a division where they could probably run the table, playing in a system that's going to be QB friendly. And he's a marketable player, so he'll get a little bit of that extra bump. So I like my 16-1 price on Trevor Lawrence.
Damn. Once again, like I was sort of looking at guys that were rated around like 4th, 5th, and then like 10th, 12th, like when I might be picking next, and like a lot of those guys was where I thought that they might be going. So now we're looking at Mahomes off the board, Hurts off the board, Trevor Lawrence off the board, and I really, I'll just take Joe Burrow. Honestly, it was between him and Herbert, but I'm believing in the Bengals once again. And there's, look, Jamar Chase, obviously, would love for him to be healthy. All 3 of those dudes, between Higgins, and why am I forgetting their second best wide receiver? Or not second, third, Taj Boyd, but all 3 of them, between Boyd and Higgins and Jamar Chase, they all missed a bit of time. And I think if any of them can stay a little bit healthier, the offensive line got a bit better, which is huge to keep him upright, obviously. So it was between him, obviously, and Herbert really at 13-1, but I just don't like the Chargers ever. And I don't know how healthy their wide receivers stay. We already took unders on Keenan. And we're talking about Mikey Williams not being able to play as much either. So yeah, I mean, they're going to be good, I think, but I know the Chargers underachieving, etc. I'm not taking Herbert in that situation. And by the way, and Allen as well. Like the reason I faded him, and I'm going to make my next pick, but it's not going to be Allen because I have 2 in a row here. But fading him again, we've talked about that. There's something to the fact that like the AFC East and NFC East are playing each other and have the hardest schedules of anybody as a result, and they're just going to beat the crap out of each other. But I'm still taking Aaron Rodgers.
Damn, I was about to take Aaron Rodgers. He was my next, and I said, Brad, don't write it down because I know there's a chance you missed out on him.
And I was like, I know my guys are going to be taking this.
I was honestly going to take him with my first pick before Brad started talking about Mahomes. You know what? Let me just take Mahomes.
I'll let you guys.
Although I will say I like it, I don't love it. I think the fact that he's won 2 out of the last 3, and it's literally a popularity contest, and he's not the most popular guy, whether it's the vaccines, whether it's the retire, not retire. So I don't know that there's going to be an appetite to give it to him, but I'm high in the Jets. And again, if you're going to win 11 or 12 games, your quarterback's going to be in the mix. It's going to be one of those guys. So at 16-1, I think he's going to play well. He's got weapons. He's got a good defense.
New York market.
New York market. Good point. Very good point.
New York market. And that's the thing about all of it is like all the stank around Aaron Rodgers as like this elitist, annoying dude is kind of just washed away when he's 8-1, 9-1. If they have a ridiculously good record or something like that, they come out that hot. Even if he's 4-0, 5-0, like I think he's just back to being the golden boy a lot more. And I think this is what the best sort of group of talent that he's had around him.
Absolutely.
In like 6, 7, 8 years.
And then a good defense. They were first in the league in yards per play on defense, second in points per play, points allowed on defense. It's a legit defense.
Yeah. So my first 2 picks there, we got Burrow and A-Rod in the fold. 16-1 for A-Rod.
Where do we go back to Brad, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to grab Josh Allen here. I was hoping to go Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not going to let Josh Allen just go into someone else who is going to build a stronger team. I don't think he's going to win the MVP, but we just talk about popularity, big arm. If
7-1, right?
Season, yeah, 7-1. So I'm going Josh Allen.
Don't hate it. I will go here. So let's see. Off the board so far, Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts, Rodgers, Lawrence. All right, I'm up here. Jeez. I think he's got better receivers. I really worry about him staying healthy, but I think people are sleeping a little bit on Lamar. The idea that teams like the Atlanta Falcons, hey, I'm not going to trade for Lamar Jackson. Teams like the Colts, hey, I don't want to trade for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is an elite player. He's got better weapons. I think the rookie will help him. Flowers, I think, Beckham, Bateman, and they throw in Andrews. It's actually a decent group of receivers. Not impossible they win the division. They're always in the mix for the playoffs. Hell, they almost, as much as everyone loves Cincy, they almost beat Cincy with Tyler Huntley last year at quarterback in the playoffs. If Huntley just tries to go low instead of going high, they probably sneak in and win that game on the road in Cincy with no Lamar. But I think it's a better team. We know they're always pretty good on defense. They got the best kicker ever. Not impossible they win 11 games. I will go with a bounce back here. I'll take Lamar, and I'm getting a decent number here at 15-1. I must say, I like Lamar at 15-1. Lamar and Lawrence having about the same price. Like, to me, I think he's a little crazy. Feel free to shit on each other's picks. I think it's more fun if we shit on each other's picks.
No, I actually was going to give you a compliment because
I don't like
that. I just think it's awesome. We talk about narrative and this and that, and Lamar also does have like that weird people would like to root for. I don't know, the whole pay Lamar, don't pay, like this whole thing. I think there's something there. So, am I mistaken? I'm writing all this down, so I'm up, but.
But I was gonna say, do you guys not agree? Like teams that haven't had a quarterback in forever, I don't want Lamar. He's this, that.
Yeah,
I don't want Lamar. What are you watching?
What do you want? Yeah,
I know he's got to stay on the field. This is 2 years in a row. He's missed a large chunk of the season. I don't care how good you are, you got to stay on the field. But man, to say I don't want Lamar, I think is crazy for some of these teams.
Like I said, I was writing all this down. Is Herbert still on the board?
He's still on the board. Yes,
Herbert. I'll take Herbert at 8.
That was who I was between.
Yeah, I was between Herbert or Jackson. So you took the other guy, but I think 9-1. I said, we all kind of talk about we don't really trust anything coming out of the Chargers, but the stats will be there, so that's half the battle. The stats should be there. He throws a ton. He just has a huge arm, and they're usually down a lot of these games too. So he's just airing the ball out. So I'll take that and hope the record falls into place because that's the biggest worry with him is.
Do you know why I passed on him and went with Lamar? Because you probably have to win the division. It's going to be hard to win this as a wild card, I think. And I just think with the Chiefs there. And I thought about taking Mahomes and having Herbert, and then I just got the division basically covered. But I don't know. Like you said, the Chargers just always find a way to fuck it up. So
yeah, they do. I didn't want any part of him. I was like, I'm just going to let him go. Like, even though he throws the ball more this year.
But talent-wise, a good play. Again, I say it was a lot of these guys. I just want a little more than 9-1. He certainly's got the talent to absolutely do it and just be like, hey, this guy might be the best quarterback in the league. That kind of discussion. I could see that in November, even though he's not. Yeah. But look, I don't hate it. I worry about the team.
I'll say this too: at 9-1, it's a safer pick. I get back to back. I think a bigger shot here, but he's always in the conversation, which is half the battle. Sometimes it's just having a guy that's usually talked about a lot. But so I go again here, and we talk about winning the division. This is like a longer shot, but I'm going to go Jared Goff, 25.
He's on my list. Let me take him off.
Probably the worst pick so far.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm just saying. You talk about winning the divisions. He's they're plus 140 to win the division. That offense is never it's never the issue per se. They always put up 45 points a game. Their defense just atrocious. I'll take the the shot at 25-1. We're talking about.
I like the
I have
boldness.
Hurts.
Thank you.
I like that. I like that play a lot too. I want to back you up there, Brian.
What do you mean
too,
too? I said I hated it.
Wow.
I didn't
Yeah,
say I
no, we
liked
hate
it.
it. Yeah.
He threw for 4,400 yards last year. He had 30 touchdowns, about 30 passing touchdowns. But if we want to be honest, like he could have been closer to the Patrick Mahomes 40-ish number. But like, how many of those were sniped at the 1 yard line?
Yeah,
they're not gonna have that same same kind of 1 yard line production.
Yeah.
Probably gonna win the division. So I like that pick a lot.
And I'll say this too is part of the strategic part of this draft is I feel comfortable with Hurts and Herbert. That's 2 guys top 5 in the odds. So I think I can take that, that shot 25-1. Yeah,
that's actually a fun pick. It's way more fun if we all shit on each other's picks.
Yeah,
but it is a fun pick. I will say again, from a realistic betting standpoint, like if I was betting golf, I would need like 50, 60 to 1, 25 to 1. They screwed all of us with these odds. But for the purpose of the draft, like there's not anybody that has great value.
He's 35 on DK. If we want to be able to, are we just saying?
No, I think it's easier just to roll shop and
okay.
Yeah, which is funny because I actually use a free bet on DraftKings 40-1 . But like I said, for the point of the draft. But you mentioned how Watson and like some of the other guys. I mean, you mentioned how Lamar is the same as guys like Trevor Lawrence. At 25-1, that's the same as Geno Smith and Deshaun Watson area. I mean, Justin Fields is 20-1. So, talk about that.
God, not with your money would I bet on that. Maybe someone will take Deshaun Watson, but
who is this back to? Is this back to me?
Who went first? Oh well, did you make 2 picks, Brad?
Yeah, I got Herbert and golf.
Oh, Brian went first. I bet. Okay.
Yeah, I went first.
Cool.
Boy, I mean, all the big names.
Still stuck now. I took golf.
I am.
The Golden Boy.
4, 5, 6, 7. The first 8 guys in terms of odds are all off the board.
Like
I mean, this really gets slim pickings here. I mean, while I filibuster, who the fuck? How is Jordan Love 35-1? On what fucking planet is Jordan Love 35-1?
Right? Like when I saw that, I was like, "There's no way." Like 35-1. I thought he'd be like 60 or 70-1.
Yes.
Like I'd much rather bet Matt Stafford than I would.
Golf looks a lot better when you look at these other options. I mean,
let's hit up FanDuel together and be like, will you give us minus 6,000 on Jordan Love not to win the MVP?
All right,
and then we just throw all of our money on it.
Not my favorite guy as a Viking fan. Not my favorite guy at all. But he's got a lot of weapons around him. That's one of the best passing games in the league. I think Flores will help their defense, which will help them win games. I think they got so overrated from last year that they're being a little underrated. It's like, oh, they're not a 13-win team. Yeah, but could they win like 10 or 11 maybe? If they have a better defense, they could come close to that. I will Kirk Cousins at 50-1. I just think that's a long number. I think he should be shorter than some of these guys.
I agree.
He always plays.
He's
healthy. He's got Jefferson. Maybe Addison makes a difference. Hawkinson. That's a good offense. Do I think he's going to win? Would I really bet this? I'm actually 50-1. That's actually getting close to where I think about betting this. So to me, 50-1 is a decent number. I'll take Cousins at 50-1.
How is Kirk Cousins has like the best wide receiver in the league, probably, right? And then like a decent a few weapons around him this year. Like
Osborne's good, yeah.
Yeah, like how is Russell Wilson or Kenny Pickett or Jordan Love ahead of Kirk? This is so misplaced. I feel
it's a lot, but I get it. Like I get like why some of these guys are ahead of him. I don't get why Kenny Pickett's ahead of him, but like it's about the narrative. Like people love shitting on Kirk Cousins. Like he's not a media favorite, and it's just the reality. I bet him last year at 50-1. Gonna bet him again this year at 50-1.
It is sloppy line making. It is sloppy line making because like in baseball. I forgot to text you guys this. I don't know if I showed you this, but DraftKings had Corbin Carroll minus 300 to win Rookie of the Year. The field was plus 250. Dela Cruz was plus 200. So it's like, why would I take Dela Cruz at 2-1 when I can take the entire field at plus 250? It's like some of these bookmakers, like sometimes they just give them too much credit. Sometimes they just do dumb shit. So
yep,
that's fine.
100%.
Who's up next?
I'm up next. I'm going with Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited at 40-1. I'm not in love with Russell Wilson by any means, but I can buy into all the offseason narrative. If they win that division, like holy shit. And with Sean Payton under the helm, he's going to get a lot of love. I don't think he's actually there, but at 40-1, I'd rather pick him than Jordan Love or Justin Fields at 20-1. So give me Mr. Unlimited.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I don't want any of those dudes at those prices. I mean, the thing is, no one's taken Dak yet.
Oh, I thought I was just going to mention that.
How is no one taking Dak at 16? I don't know. I mean,
who's up? Are you up?
I'm up. Yeah. I didn't take Dak because I don't think he's going to play a full season, and they're going to be passing the ball less this year. So like it makes sense like why you would like him, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see the upside in this
No,
competition.
I agree. I think really like what we're saying, there's just this like big gap in the middle of these odds that I'm like, I'm not touching any of these dudes at like Tua, Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, Geno, Jordan Love, even Derek Carr, like Kenny Pickett. None of those guys would I come close to touching. So I'm either going to have to take Dak all the way up 16-1, or I'm gonna have to come all the way down to somebody like honestly start talking about non-quarterbacks who just like have like one of the best years from in terms of scrimmage yards and touchdowns, like someone like Christian McCaffrey. But I'm yeah, that's why I'm taking Dak there, just for the fact that like I'm not touching anybody else in there.
It's the right pick.
In that
That's
situation.
a loaded team. I hate
It
the
is.
whole organization, and they always find a way to screw it up, sort of like the Chargers.
Yeah.
And that San Fran game will stick to Dak for a while because he stunk. They had a chance to win that game. Like he's going to have to overcome that. But that's a team that could definitely win 10 or 11 games. It's a really good team. It's a really good roster. They had Cooks. They had Gilmore.
Yep.
I don't hate it 16-1.
That's what it comes down to too. Is like is the ceiling for the Cowboys is just so much higher than every other team that I could take a quarterback for. Like if I can just get if they win, if they have a crazy year, win 13 games, and we can't like just assume that because someone got hurt so much they're going to get hurt. I know Dak is prone; he's got prior things, and that is something to take into consideration.
Yeah.
But there's also the likelihood that there's like at least 1 or 2 years in the middle of his career where he plays at least 16, if not 17 games at this point. So if just pick it this year at where I'm at in this draft. But making my next pick real quick. Now that is where I'm going all the way down and past like some of these 40 and 50-1s. And I will take Justin Jefferson at 100-1 at this point, because I do think there's just such high correlation between he and Kirk that Kirk at 50-1 and I get double that for his best wide receiver. That's going to make him the majority of his yards, like a quarter of them at least, right? Then I'm feeling pretty good that if he gets to like 1900 yards, maybe he has like 17, 18 touchdowns. And now we're talking about the touchdowns coming into play as well. I think that would be a huge factor. So
does Tone Stamp have his mic on? Can you read all of our teams so far just to see? Maybe we can ask the listeners who has the best team so far.
Yeah, I can read your guys'.
If you need a minute, that's fine. We'll come back to you.
No, I have them all, but right now Josh has one extra pick. You guys still got one more round to go.
All right, let's wait till we finish the round and then we'll do it. I mean, I clearly have the best team, but I want to see what everybody else thinks. All right, who's up next?
Josh has back-to-back picks.
Yeah, I took 2. I took Justin Jefferson and Dak.
Okay. So I'm up next, and I am going to go with, this was a tough one, right? Like now we're starting to really scrape the barrel here. Like who can win? Who's going to win?
Saturday night closing time. You've had a few beers. Miss America's not walking through that door. You're just looking for a little company.
So I'm gonna go with Geno Smith at 30-1. I don't like, this is like one of those things where I'm just like, I just want to take a girl home who I know I've had a little bit of experience with. We've seen a little bit of success out of Geno, so the bar's closing, and Geno's my date.
It's this or your solo dolo for the night. So
yeah,
there was a story about Joe Namath once in like the 60s. Somebody saw him out, and he was with a girl who was a little below his standards, and somebody said to him, "Joe, what are you doing with this girl? Like she wasn't exactly on the varsity." And Joe Namath goes, "It's 2:00 in the morning. Miss America's not walking through that door."
That's great.
He's a gem.
All right. Why can't I get this order right? It's Brad, then me.
Yep.
And then Brian twice. Okay.
Well, let's stop after Brian's first if you want to see what the teams look like.
Yes. All right. Most of the top guys are off. Tua is still there. As far as the guys that have the shorter odds, the guys still left. Tua at 16-1, Fields 20-1, Watson 25-1, Love 35-1.
Fields is so funny there. I'm sorry. It's just
it really is. All these are ridiculous. Like Dak, Dak is a good bet for the sake of the draft, but Dak shouldn't be 16-1. Dak should be, all these guys should be like double their odds.
Everybody should be double, but like if Mac Jones at 61, even that, it's like your team has to win games.
Yeah, which they could be decent, but he's not going to blow away like stats. He's got he might get benched too. Fuck it. I'll go Watson 25-1. 2019, 2020, he's a top 5 quarterback. I know there's really no precedent for a guy missing 700 days coming back to play. And it's a popularity contest and the media votes on it. He's not the most popular guy, but there's a lot of talent on that team. Just, this is an upside play. This is the fact that we're 4 picks deep into the draft. Again, would I bet it 25-1? No. Do I love this? No. But there's a chance here. Like, if he pops Cleveland, that's a good roster. That could be a 12-win team if everything breaks right. That could also be a 12-loss team if he's no good and the quarterback we saw last year. But he came back last year. He was rusty, but some of those games were bad weather. Remember, it was wind, it was cold, it was some adverse conditions. So again, none of these picks at this point are anything we all love, but I will take Watson just with the upside at 25 to 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this is the last one that we'll review, but
yeah,
similar to last time. I mean, I had two guys I was just looking at. Will mentioned both. He took the one one of the other ones. So I'll take the short shot. I hate the odds on it, like you say, but we talk about narrative. I'll take the bullet on Tua. Just because
I thought you were gonna take the bullet on Jordan Love. I was like, just talking about narrative.
He's still there, and I will say that offense is just so good, and he has the narrative of like, the injuries, like he kind of has that. I feel like people, the biggest thing with Watson with me was, as you mentioned, the popularity. I feel like there is a large group of people that feel for Tua and some of the stuff with these injuries, and that offense is just so good. He just puts up so much big numbers. I'll take it. I don't like I said, 16 to 1 is crazy to me, but he's still there.
There is the upside with those receivers. That team, there's absolutely the upside. I mean, you need to give me 16 to 1. He plays the whole season. I mean, that's a short pay, but I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's slim pickings right now. All right, let's get a little review, Tone.
All right, so we'll start with Brian. Brian, with his first round, went Jalen Hurts at 12 to 1. Then he went Justin Herbert at 9 to 1. Jared Goff at 25 to 1, and Tua at 16 to 1. Then we have Will. You went Patrick Mahomes 7 to 1, Lamar Jackson at 15 to 1, Kirk Cousins at 50 to 1, and then Deshaun Watson at 25 to 1. Brad, you went Trevor Lawrence at 16 to 1, Josh Allen at 7 to 1, Russell Wilson at 40 to 1, and Geno Smith at 30 to 1. And then Josh, you went Joe Burrow at 75 to 1. Not 75 to 1. Sorry. Yeah, plus 750. My bad. Going to the list here. Dak Prescott at 16 to 1. Justin Jefferson at 100 to 1. I think I may have missed a pick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed your Aaron Rodgers at 16 to 1 pick.
Yeah.
So
I'm for sure winning this thing. Yeah. Oh my God, that was not even close. Who
you realize we have a whole bunch more awards, right? If all it takes is someone to land 100 to 1, they're probably gonna win.
That's so true.
I do like how once again we have Will and Josh against each other, because the whole time Will has to root for Kirk Cousins to light it up without Jefferson being at all.
It's just basically I have his best wide receiver every week against me.
If Kupp didn't win it a couple years ago, I think a receiver winning it is very, very
unlikely.
But hold on, because I agree, but now Brad's making me realize, like, if we all get like 4 to 5 picks for all of these different awards, we should all just be picking only like 50 to 100 to 1s, because like one of these might win us this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for the quarterback,
if you just win two or three 9, 10 to 1s, that's better than just taking 6 swings at 100 to 1. But hey, whatever strategy. I don't
think because my strategy for MVP, my goal was to get just quarterbacks that were in that 1 to 25 to 1. Like, I didn't really take any long shots here, but I feel like MVP is just always, it's gonna be
All right,
I'm trying to think of like
a few more picks each.
Cam Newton was the last long shot to win, I think. Lamar Jackson.
No, Lamar and Mahomes were both 75, 80 to 1. Neither of them.
So there's a lot of big prices that have won, because Lamar.
That's why these prices suck
Matt
now.
Ryan
they got beat with this.
Matt Ryan winning that year was a pretty big shock.
Yeah.
Wow, these prices suck.
The prices suck. The prices suck.
Yep. Holy crap!
All right, Brian, you want to kick off round the second part of this? What do we should do?
How many more are we gonna go with?
I got a few I still like. We can go for a few more.
We're on round 5.
Yeah. Let's see. Can I have 2 here?
Can you pick one?
Yeah, I just picked one already.
So you need one more, right?
Yeah.
I had you and Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, well, I also because I have a pick. I can talk freely. I'm between Derek Carr and like a super long shot like Daniel Jones. That's the tip I'm with, which is so funny that we're talking MVP and I'm talking Derek Carr, or I'll take Derek Carr. I'll do the shorter shot. Right. I once again, the same thing with kind of like Herbert. Just a lot of despite Jacobs' involvement, he just. That offense still throws the ball a lot, so I'll take it there over, which is worse odds than the guy like Jordan Love. So I'll take Carr.
If my guy is not listed on FanDuel, is it okay if I take him at DraftKings a real long shot?
Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
I'm not taking him now, but it's in my pick now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go at 300 to 1. I'm going to go Marcus Mariota. If Hurts gets hurt, that he could still slide in and win 10 or 11 games. Do I think it's going to happen? No. At 300 to 1. I mean, look, we do one of those rugby scrums with Hurts, and he's out in week 3, and Mariota comes in. He's had pedigree. He's, made it to the playoffs, won a playoff game with that team around him. Could they win 10 or 11 games? Again, is it going to happen? No, but Mariota at 300 to 1.
I was just saying, can I just make a commentary that it's so funny how, like, because he is on FanDuel. He's the very last guy on FanDuel. Same offense, but it's the same thing where it's so interesting to me, like, how they decide who they list. Because they list Carson Wentz at the same price. He's not even on a roster. So you know, like,
I didn't realize he's not on a team. Wow.
Yeah, like you just know they do that so strategically because they know they're going to get a few people almost joke betting it and saying it to their friends, and they'll take the free $5-10 here and there from insert people because it's funny that he's listed.
Well, it's the same thing, and not to get off NFL, but for MLB, I was looking for James Paxton for Cy Young, who's got really good numbers, like a point something whip, a sub 1 whip. He's had great numbers, and he's not listed on DraftKings. And then you have guys like Luis Severino's just been awful, like 100 to 1. Chris Sale's out for the year. He's like 151. It's like, who does these lines? Like, who thinks they're good? So yeah,
they're just hoping that they grab somebody who's just blindly going like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah. Like betting on him.
Yep. All right. Who's up next?
I'm up next. And for my pick, I'm going to go ahead and take Matthew Stafford at 60 to 1. Just think I like the price. If he plays the whole season, he has a chance to put up huge numbers, but we know he's not playing the whole season. So we'll just go ahead and call that what it is.
Decent value. Don't hate it.
This is 5 rounds is enough, right?
I think 5's plenty. Yeah.
I kind of have one more I wanted to go.
Let's go 6. Let's go 6.
Yeah, let's go 6.
All right, so
nobody else picked the non-quarterback yet. There's still a couple guys. I think we should have 1 or 2 non-quarterbacks. Where
I picked my first one already, but
I have my non-quarterback. So
you're up, right? Or you just went?
No, I just went. It's up to you. You get the double.
Word. Cool. Yeah. I mean, so I have 2 picks. So I do need to take my. All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey 200 to 1. I do think there's a world where he just gets like basically 1,000 yards receiving and 1,400 yards rushing. I know that he needs to play and stay healthy. I understand that. We all understand that. So if he can do that, we're good to go. I mean, he's going to get a lot of usage with Trey Lance starting. I don't know how long that's going to last.
I don't think Lance is starting.
Well, Darnold hasn't been officially ruled the starter.
I think it's Purdy. If it's not, it's
either Purdy or Darnold. He's not going to be back until he's still going to be back later in the season.
Not what I had understood.
I don't think he's ready. Either way, if it's Brock Purdy, that's wonderful. I would still like that, honestly. Yeah. But I didn't think he was going to be back for the full season necessarily. But maybe you can look that up real quick. If he does, great. Like I'm still happy with that. With C-Mac getting everything he needs, CMC, whatever you want to call him. I don't like I said between he and
we can go quicker here. I mean, we're 200, 300.
Right. My last one is another long shot that I'm just going to go, and I want to kind of cover a defensive player, and I'm going to take Bosa at 200 to 1 because if he stays healthy,
which one you got to pick a Bosa?
Yeah, he's just trying to get a double package.
Yeah,
this is bullshit.
He should lose his pick.
Do you really think there's Joey Bosa MVP odds available?
No,
I thought that's who you meant.
There's no Joey Bosa for MVP out here. Nick Bosa 200 to 1 also on the 49ers. Capable of, like I said, maybe 25 sacks if he goes bananas. Look, when he's healthy, like it seems pretty like clear cut that he's like the best defensive end in the league, and pretty much everybody agrees on that. So I'm still in that same boat with him at 200 to 1.
All right, you got your 2 picks. I'm going to go with mine. I'm going with Bijan Robinson, 200 to 1. I picked him to win Offensive Player of the Year. I'm just going to stick by my guns here. If he plays in this offense with this good offensive line, he could absolutely go berserk. And if he puts up like some, Marshall Faulk numbers, then we'll see what happens. Adrian Peterson numbers, he has a chance.
Yeah,
not horrible. I will go. Not on FanDuel, but he's at DraftKings. Mike White, 200 to 1. Same thing in Mariota. If Tua gets hurt, when Tua gets hurt, he's got great weapons. He's got a good coordinator. Again, is it going to happen? But remember, Kurt Warner won the MVP once. I don't even know what price. He wasn't even on anybody's radar. Trent Green, he comes in, he's got the greatest offense ever. So Mike White's going to be. I think he played well a couple of years ago. He was hurt last year, so. I don't know.
What you're saying is that in this MVP race, it's just going to be It's just gonna be Will rooting for my quarterbacks to get hurt.
Yes.
Is that what we're getting at?
That's literally what he's doing.
Yes.
Go down, go down.
And then I'll round it out.
Go
I
down.
know Tone was saying that it's already over because Josh got Joe Burrow early, so I'll take a 150 to 1 Jamar Chase. As we're talking about wide receivers like have the ability to transcend yards and whatnot, I'll go with Jamar Chase, who I think, has already been in the spotlight a lot. 150 to 1, he'll be my non-quarterback.
Okay, 150 to 1, it's hard to argue. You just worry, like, if he's having a good year, then Burrow's gonna have a good year, and I feel like the tie goes to the quarterback. But hey, 150 to 1, we're all reaching here. I will reiterate for the 9th time here. There's just no good bets out of all these. These are all just shitty odds, man. I don't know. Is there anything that's actually worth betting?
I will say, I don't hate. I took it at 14 to 1. I don't hate like a Hurts look, like even at 12 to 1. I don't hate that as a bet.
Yeah. Don't love it either.
Which is funny that
Overtime
the
money.
first pick after that, I really have nothing else. That was it.
Yeah, I've kind of hit when I don't really love anything like this. And honestly, I do like Pat Mahomes. The fact that he is even with like 2 other dudes essentially is something to me that I still think he should be favored over them, and he's not. So that might be worth it right there. But as far as tying up your money at 7 to 1 like that, I hate it, and so that's why I'm like I just lean towards a sprinkle on something that would hit pretty hard at $100 on something that's 100 to 1 or 200 to 1, and just be like, whatever, that's $100 that I'm not worried about it being tied up or not. You know what I mean? So